Let's talk about communication. If you're already not a great communicator as a leader, where do you start? What's going on, everybody? My name is William Mahwah, and I'm going to be your host today. The content that I'm going to share with you today comes from a book called The Coaching Habit, Saying Less, Asking More, Changing the Way You Lead Forever. In this book, the author talks about how we can ask the right questions, and when we ask the right questions, it elevates our communication as a leader. The very first question they ask in this book is called the Kickstart Question. The Kickstart Question works well because everyone in your organization is busy, including you. So you need to learn how to communicate better in your everyday interactions. Sometimes I feel like we think of leadership and communication as something that has to be done formally. But while there is times for formal communication, if we only communicate in a formal setting, then we're not being very good communicators as leaders. The challenge with communication in a busy environment is that conversation can tend to meander. It can be drawn out before you really get to the real point of the conversation. We've all experienced this, right? The boss walks in and we're chatting away and everything is going well, but in the back of your mind you're thinking, does he or she have a point here? It's not that you mind small talk, but small talk takes up a lot of valuable time. Having a kickstart question, having a starter question as a leader can make all the difference. Here's a good starting question that will help you get right to the point. Simply ask, what's on your mind? Here's what I love about this question. It's open-ended, and you can use it to communicate with people throughout your day without setting up a formal meeting. Don't underestimate the power of this simple question. What you're saying to that person is that they get to choose what to talk about. You're giving them the responsibility to set up the agenda of your conversation. What you're not telling them is to just tell you everything, because that doesn't serve either of you. By asking someone what's on their mind, it helps you avoid some conversation traps, like getting stuck in the standard agenda. We've all been in those conversations with our supervisor or somebody else that you go over the same thing. It's kind of like the movie Groundhog's Day. You keep living the same conversations over and over.
Do you ever have deja vu, Mrs. Lancaster?
I don't think so, but I could check with the kitchen.
Do you ever have deja vu, Mrs. Lancaster?
I don't think so.
Do you ever have deja vu, Mrs. Lancaster?
The question, what's on your mind, helps you skip those repetitive conversations and get right to the meat of the conversation. There are times for small talk, don't get me wrong, but there are times when small talk gets in the way of what you're trying to communicate. Another reason why this question is so powerful as a leader is that it helps you stop thinking that you already know the answer. As a leader, it's easy to think, well, I know what they want to talk about, so I'll just tell them what to do. All the while, the person that you're talking to is thinking to themselves, this manager or this leader never listens to a word I have to say. But this question opens the conversation and allows the other person to actually talk about what's on their mind. It says to them, let's get into the things that really matter. So, you don't have to use this opening question, but having some kind of kickstart for your conversation as a leader will help you become more of an effective communicator. What are some kickstart questions you can come up with?